Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla coming back to ya with another episode of Car Rides with Schla. And today I feel very tired. I don't know. I just do. I just feel fogged out, man. I've been through I've been dealing with a lot of stress recently, and it's not good, and I'm trying to work on that. Today was the first day actually wearing the merino wool. So I'm sure you guys are anxious and biting your nails to hear how that went. And I think it's good. I mean, it could be better. It could definitely be better. But I think it's noticeably better at handling sweat and stuff, especially when you compare it to cotton, which is what I was told. And I don't know. I think it's very important to me. The texture, it's great. And I think the way things feel has always been something I've been very attuned to, and noticing differences in textures and things like that. So it's important for me. I mean, it's expensive, but I think it's the right fit for me, and hopefully time will tell as to how into it I am, or if I end up regretting it at some point. I've really been getting into a lot of deeper things, and just trying to think about what it could mean, the reason why I think the way I think, if there's some kind of destined spiritual conclusion. And I think there could be. I think it's possible, and I want to be very careful. I want to tread carefully, because I don't want to be one of those people who's low-key mentally ill and who is just totally out of it, not following science. Science is really important to me in terms of, I want to be sane. I don't like the fake spirituality, if that makes any sense, because it seems like a lot of people, I don't know the reasoning for why everybody gets into spirituality, but for me it's felt like a true depth, and I wonder if for some people it's just a hobby, and if they don't root things vigorously in science, because again, I do not want to be Delulu, and I really want to figure out these secrets. The secrets to life and joy and happiness and pain. And I think with what I've went through, it could be setting the stage for that. I just don't want to sabotage my life, but it's possible that my life is not really meant to be materially successful. I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking and hoping, especially with my grind and whatnot that I've been on. But I kind of wonder if that's really it. And I've really, the more that I've thought about it, it's like, I don't even know. I don't even know how much things matter to me when you think about it. When I think about a lot of the things I have basically bought almost everything I ever wanted. The only things left are things that are out of reach, like a house or a nicer car, things that are just completely ridiculous that I'm not comfortable doing, and in my generation, who knows if we will be able to afford a car or these things. And I'm not really sure. I like where I'm at now. I feel like I can subsist in society but still be spiritually strong. That's what I feel like. And I hope that that's the case. And obviously, if my audience takes off, then YouTube would be the perfect platform to really be a philosopher, which at one point is really what I wanted to. I wanted to be a philosopher by career, and then I became uninterested in philosophy. But I think I want to return to that, because I think even now I've already come up with a lot of ideas, and I'm sure I might not be the only person to come up with, because there's lots of people in this world. I'm sure somebody else has thought of a lot of the things I've said, but of course there's different ways of wording things and different ways of explaining things that I could potentially bring to the table. And so I think it's an interesting path, and potentially if I have more time someday, I could pursue it. But it mostly depends on the channel and how much the channel takes off. But I think even with what I've posted already, it should matter. I mean, at any point, at least there's such a library of content out there. Do remember, though, I mentioned the live streaming thing. That's probably what would happen if I ever got laid off. I would immediately just live stream my entire day, and just, that would be the beginning and the end, maybe. It's just weird because I guess a lot of people in my gen aren't even thinking as financially serious as me. I feel like I'm holding myself to a pretty strong standard. I'm holding myself to a fairly strong standard. Why am I wording things in such a silly... Oh, I guess strong standard. It's alliteration. That might be why my brain's doing it. Well, that's what I want you guys to think. Hey, I mean, I want you... of course, there's a method to my madness, of course. It's a high expectation, and I don't even know. It's kind of weird. I think my generation, as I've continued to assert, we're just very polarized when it comes to everything. There's probably some of the laziest, least caring about money or success kind of people ever in this gen. But there's also probably some of the most workaholic maniacs as well. I genuinely believe that. I do. I mean, I really think there's just a very crazy mix of people. It's a result of poorly regulated, ideologically too, I think politically as well. You have two extremes going on. And I think it's due to a mix of timing with tech, and how tech was sort of this Wild West interface that was not really regulated. And so, since it wasn't regulated, a lot of the things and ideas we were exposed to, we probably shouldn't have been exposed to. Oh, man. Sorry, it's just like this person didn't go. And it made me break. I mean, I still broke gently, obviously. I always break gently, but just like, geez, dude, just extra wear on the car because you didn't go. It's all good, though. I get it's a tricky spot. But for real, man, for real. And he's going slow, so no, I was wondering if there was traffic or something. Doesn't look like it, but you never know. You never know. But I hope so. I mean, I just haven't been able to dedicate more energy into making more videos. I know there's recordings of it too, where I was really going to be making a lot of content. Like, I wanted to be doing more stuff when I got home and all this craziness. I don't think it's going to happen. There was definitely some mania there, and even with some of my purchases, there was just so much mania, and I spent so much money on things that I truly did not need to. One of the recent things I've thought about a lot is my focal Bathys. Sorry, I should have just said the Bathys, because that's my name for them. Which I love my Bathys. It actually does kind of look like there's what? Like, this is crazy. This is crazy. I like my Bathys. Like, I love their design. I love them as a product. But I did not need to get them. You know, I haven't even been mixing my vocals anymore for car rides with Schla. I guess it's just, it doesn't seem worth it. I don't know, because I don't really know what I'm doing, and I really wanted to get into that, but I just never did. And so, I don't know. Now it just, like, I don't know why I got the Bathys. I still remember how good it sounded when I first wore them, though. I mean, that was a pretty interesting experience, and I do think they're very good headphones. It's just, I don't think they were necessary. The main thing is the headband isn't comfortable, because again, I think I have a sensitive head, and like I said, I think my skin is just very, like, intuitive and sensitive. So my head always hurts when it comes to headphones. Headphones are basically always uncomfortable to me. The only headphones that really weren't were the QC35s, the Bose QC35s. That was really the only pair of headphones that was just truly comfortable. And I've honestly thought about getting another pair of them. It's just they don't really impress me. Like, the focal Bathys, they have the name that I like to say, the Bathys. And then the brand, I like the brand. And I love the design. I adore the design, and they're very pretty. So I guess it's not really a waste of money. They're a really good pair of cans to have on hand. But it just was a lot of money. It was a lot of money, and I probably would undo that purchase if I could. The phone, it gets a little tricky. The phone, I probably would have waited until September, but at the same time, getting the 16 Pro Max was such a huge uplift in my day-to-day, and I really still think even now I appreciate it a lot. So I don't know if I really regret it. I almost don't think that it would have been worth waiting, even though it was just a couple more months. I really think out of anything I bought, I should have just bought the 16 Pro Max, like, right when it came out. I just think that would have really, and back then, I don't think I would have felt comfortable doing it financially, but now I wish I would have just done it. I wish I would have just bought that thing, because it really is, it's so good for me, especially the texture. I was just talking about how things feel, the titanium, the matte finish, the texture. It's so important to me. I notice it all the time. I'm still grateful for it. So, as crazy as the iPhone was, I don't even really regret it. The terabyte storage, it's just so reassuring to me. Like, it makes me feel so comfortable. I always have way more storage than I need because it's just so comfortable, and I can't stand low storage amounts. You know, I always just max it. It's not really necessary, but it just makes me feel good. It's such a good feeling. Such a good feeling. So it's all stuff that's important to me. But I think the headphones are probably one of the biggest regrets. My Samsung Odyssey Ark, that's kind of another pretty big regret. As much as I really like it, it's kind of a regret. I mean, I'm not even home that much, so I barely get to use it. Although at the same time, it really is a pretty breathtaking experience. It's very comfortable to read things on it because it's such a large screen. So, now the thing I really regret is my desktop, because that just makes, I mean, it just makes no sense. I don't know what I was thinking. I just don't know what I was thinking. It's cool, but that's the most expensive thing I have, and that in that perspective, it just doesn't make any sense. I definitely should have just probably stuck with a laptop. I don't even really do anything that it would matter. Like, well, actually, that isn't true. There is things that I definitely appreciate about a desktop, and I guess I feel better about it, but I still think a laptop is really what I should be getting. And I'm assuming by whatever computer I get next, which I promised myself I'm not, I just want to stack dough for a while. I really do not want to indulge in anything. I really promised myself that, and I'm doing that now preemptively, but there was obviously still some lingering things I wanted to buy, like the good quality Merino wool clothes, which I'm probably going to end up getting more of this stuff because I'm really impressed with how much I like it. But I'm going to wait. I don't want to just spend all that money at once. But yeah, look, I'm going to end up getting more of this stuff. And let me try to think what else. What else am I trying to think about? So I'm just confusing drivers. That's all I'm doing. Because I'm driving slow and people, yeah. But nobody's enraged. That's always a good thing. It is actually crazy to think about. I'm just not even, I probably get less road rage than like anybody. Especially now that I have the show. It just doesn't really matter. The only thing I get upset about is just the wear on the car and the loss in fuel efficiency, which that's what's funny, is that's the thing nobody even cares about. So the only thing I get upset about when it comes to traffic is something that nobody even notices or cares about. And then the actual thing that people notice and care about, I don't even care about. And I've noticed that a lot, and that's why I genuinely wonder if I'm an alien or something. I mean, it's just the way I am, the things that I see and notice that like people just don't even notice. It's odd. There's something strange about it. And I'm not even saying this as a joke. I mean, I don't actually think I'm an alien. But there's something is just very off, and again, since I've been so like meek about myself, which I guess there's still fair reason to be meek about myself because I haven't really accomplished anything too crazy yet, but I've been pretty meek about myself. But when it comes down to it, I am definitely not a normal person. It's just like, I just don't know. I'm too into all this crazy stuff, and it's gonna get interesting now. I'm studying. I'm trying to study more and learn more about spirituality and understanding the true nature of things, not just one dogmatic belief, but the truth in things. And it's a journey that I think, well, you guys will see the result of, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Now that's such a weird, I don't know. Again, like I'm feeling very mellow. I just feel very mellow. I don't feel hype right now. But I always feel like that, man. I mean, in some ways, I'm probably the least materialistic person I know, but then in other ways, I'm the most. Isn't that strange? I mean, there has to be something to that, because when it comes to appreciation of matter, of things and of textures and of materials, nobody appreciates it as much as me. I've never met anybody that even, I seriously, I think I'm probably the most caring and appreciative of material things out of anybody. I don't know if I take care of them that well. Like, a lot of times I can be neglectful, but I really appreciate material. I do. And it's just such an interesting dynamic, because at the same time, I'm incredibly mindful of waste and the inefficiencies of things. And that really creates a pretty opposing dynamic, right? Because on one hand, I really want a European car. I want something that is extra complicated for no reason and is very lavishly designed and all that. I really would appreciate it. I'd appreciate it so much better than most people who own those cars. Like, if I had a really expensive car, I would deserve it. I would really appreciate having that thing. I would feel it. I'd feel the dashboard. I would just, I would really appreciate it. But then at the same time, I have such a strong awareness of how bad that is, and how, in a perfect world, it would just be everybody would just drive Toyotas, because Toyota's the most efficient, right? And not just fuel efficiency, but I mean trying to make a car that actually works, and you wouldn't have these European theories and designs and stuff. It's very materialistic, and it's crazy. It's just for the purpose of profit. It's honestly just exploiting the lower natures of humans. And I think there's an interesting even contradiction with that, because those expensive brands, they exploit the lower nature of humans, and yet it's only really the higher nature of humans that could actually appreciate them. But like I said, I honestly think a lot of rich people might have expensive cars, and then I don't really know how much they appreciate it. They just might have it because they have the money. I mean, I don't really know. But you can see where I'm getting at with this. I understand it's so unnecessarily wasteful to have those expensive cars, and to even manufacture them at all just really exacerbates inequality, and it's kind of, it invokes envy. There's a lot of poor people that end up really obsessing over needing it and being broke and having it. And it causes a lot of problems. But that's where I think it's a really important thing to analyze, and I'm not going to have a clear answer now, but how do you see that? Because when we think of humanity, we do see rich people as being the top of the totem pole. You have access to better vehicles, nicer clothing, obviously, because I really can't be taking for granted that I can afford this nice merino wool, because some people can't. And I'm not saying I'm rich, but I think I'm doing well for my age. But, I could be doing a lot better, so I don't think it matters. But yeah, I think compared to most people my age, I'm doing relatively well, is what's happening. So I can afford some things, but I can't, actually move out or anything like that. And even if I saved, just the income, rent, it doesn't add up, you know what I mean? So it's not. But besides that, where were we getting? I don't even know what we were. Where were we getting at? Oh yeah, it's something that's really tricky to unravel. It's very tricky because, again, when you think about human excellence, there is material evidence of excellence. And it's not necessarily moral or fair, but I do think it's fair to say that rich people are able to afford better things, and that it is like a higher form of existence. The material, nicer things, it is. Or is it really all an illusion? Does none of it really matter? And then there's the other side of me that's thinking like, well, the world would probably be a fairer, better place if all cars were just designed like Toyotas, right? Like, people would probably have more money, and when I say that, I don't even like Toyota, so I honestly hate Toyota. But I'm just saying, you would have different brands, but they would follow, Honda or Toyota's philosophy with reliability and just making a practical car that works well, doesn't break the bank too badly. It's just, if every brand operated like that and it wasn't about making money or frills and fancy add-ons and things like that, it would probably be a fairer, better place. And even now, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that are less fair, and they could be more fair. But then you think about, is there a higher level to that or not? Because we've talked about it before, and I know it's controversial, but like I said, if you give more money to poor people, I think I already dismissed that as being relatively incorrect, because a lot of rich people waste money too. So I think it's a minority percentage of both poor and rich who actually just use money properly. So that's what I said. There's no point in making it that's what I said last time. There's no point in making it like a class problem, because it's not. It honestly, it really has nothing to do with class. There's truly stupid people in the middle class, lower class, and upper class, and the ultra rich. There are people who should have more money than they do, and people who should have a lot less than they do. So it's not a class issue, but there's probably correlations with, like, generally speaking, someone who's middle or upper class probably has a higher chance of, if they're intelligent, actually getting opportunity and et cetera, et cetera. I think we already know a lot of these things. You can't really... You can be smart and poor, but it doesn't you might not get recognized, you might not get noticed, or the probability is lower. And of course, that can be seen as actually a hindrance to humanity, right? Where you have what we have now, which is a rich-poor dynamic. I think I've said before, trying to kind of be hopeful about the elitism, but I guess I don't know if you can be. I still kind of wonder, because you have to make sure everybody gets screened. And there's a lot of poor people who are probably smart, but they just can't get in a position to express themselves properly. They can't get a job that they deserve because somebody less qualified but who's potentially socially more adept has their job that they could have. There's a lot of these things and situations to think about. And so, yeah, I mean, it's really something, isn't it? I don't know. I'm noticing people behind me. They're gesturing with their hands, and I wonder if they are complaining about me. And they very well may be. Oh my gosh, I care about what other people think I do. Is that something I have to get over? It might be. Especially with what I've went through recently, it just may be something I need to kind of ignore. A lot of things other people think are just not accurate. I mean, I want to be a caring person. I do. I think it's important to care. And I've always valued that, but it just seems like all the time it's just a bunch of empty energy. It's people who don't even value a lot of the things that I'm trying to do. And so it is what it is, you know. It's just, I just don't know. But yeah. No, I liked this episode. Like I was saying, I think it's just good to have something of an outlet to get my mind off of the fact that I have to drive to work, and I really want to be able to walk to work. And I'm hoping if I keep getting these hours, I'll actually be able to get an apartment eventually. But if they cut me off of the hours, then that idea goes out the window. But even now, I'd really barely be able to afford an apartment. So it's like, even now, even if I get the hours, it's just kind of crazy. Because I just don't know. I don't even know, you know, how I would do it and stuff like that. It's just a little bit crazy. Because yeah, even now it's just crazy. The whole economy and stuff, and I'm sure rent's going to go up and my raises are not going to match inflation. So I'm not, you know, I don't even know. I mean, I'm saying, because like right now, even with the hours I'm working, I could, but it would not be great. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, I don't know. You know, I want to say that I will be able to, but in a couple years after I have some kind of a foundation saved up, I'll be able to finally just move and walk to work and all that good stuff. It's really what I want, but it remains to be seen, really. I still, rent just keeps going up, and it's a mess, and the wages aren't matching, and we don't even know. If I can't get these hours, it's just totally out of the window of me being able to do that. So, yep, that's the plan, though. I mean, it would be super cool to have my own place. Very cool. I think an important step too, but it's just it's not a matter of when, it's a matter of if. I know I think there's that saying where it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. But it's not a matter of when, it's a matter of if. I'm realizing that makes no sense to say that. That's probably why that's not the saying, right? Because it's just not. It's just not the same thing, Yep. I don't know. I still just out here learning, trying to learn more, do better, the usual things. But it's good. I mean, I'm finding a rhythm, and that's why I'm so worried about them rescinding my hours, because this rhythm I'm in is I'm just doing good, and the worst part is that, again, 12-hour shifts 5 days a week, still not that great. It's just like I still can't really move out. It's insane. It's literally insane. I'd still have to get a weekend job. Then I'd be in good shape. If I could get a weekend job on top of what I'm doing, that could work. That could definitely work. I mean, I'd have to work 7 days a week. Although, presumably Saturday and Sunday I could get like more of a normal shift, and then I'd be good. That's just what it takes now. So, it's just crazy. I don't know what is going to happen, because people are not ready. I don't think people are ready for what's to come. I've known about it for so long, though. It's not recorded, but I've been warning people. It's just crazy how much people. I don't even know. I guess people just don't really think about it, but I've known things are going downhill. I've seen it, and I've seen the trajectory and just how much it's not changing. All the economic metrics. That's the thing. I guess a lot of people don't really understand. They don't understand like what a lot of it means, or I don't know how seriously they take it. They may just kind of, it's just, I don't know. I don't know how seriously people take this stuff. It's a little bit crazy. But that's the whole point, right? Like I'm in the material world, and none of this stuff makes any sense. And I'm constantly, when I do mess up or make a mistake, it's because I thought things made more sense than they actually do. And then, yeah. It's weird. I guess better than what, like I add reasoning to things, where it always shocks me how many people do things and then there's no reason, and then I'm trying to guess what the reason was, and then it turns out there was just no reason. That's always what happens. But I don't think that's actually true. I think subconsciously there is. It's just people aren't conscious of it, of what they're doing or why they're doing it, and they don't have a comprehensive image of themselves. I think I've probably said that a million times. Whereas with me, I mean, if I do something, I know why. I could talk for, I was going to say hours, but that's, I could probably better explain why I do the things I do, than anybody. It's just, I don't even know. That's the thing I've really been meek. I've really undersold myself for my whole life. But it's like, man, when it comes down to it, when it comes down to it, it is just crazy how much I've undersold myself and all that stuff. And then it turns out it really, I mean, people are just not, I don't even know. People are just, I don't know. I guess, again, like, I think everybody just projects people to be somewhat similar to themselves. And then over time, you learn just how different people are. And that's one of the things I've learned, is that people cannot speak properly, and they don't know why they do things. And it's just like, it's all a mystery. Their whole life just doesn't make any sense under their own skin, and they splurge here and they splurge there, they splurge here. They don't know what they're doing with themselves. Their flesh is just being flung around, you know, and it's just, it's all crazy, man. I'm just riffing at this point, but I think you guys get the premise. There's usually some truth to what I say. It's not usually untruthful. So that's the important thing. It's not usually untruthful. Keep that in mind. So let's keep that in mind. But it has been Schla, and now it's time to buy Schla. So, see you, Schla.